all dorked up. Oh boy. See if that's slightly less dorked. I think that's okay. All right, gang, we're just going to wait for a handful more people to show up. And it's time for me to put my live stream hat on again because hey, Chris Hill is here. Big Fitz, what's happening, man? Steve, how are you? Dan? So I didn't even bother cleaning the shop. That hardly ever happens anyway. But yesterday I did a video. Hi Jeffrey. Hi Gary. Bad Joke Guitars. What's happening? And I was talking about the fractal fret presses that I got from let me pull them in front of my black shirt here. The fractal fret presses. You guys can go watch the video if you haven't seen it. I'm sure all you guys have. Hi, Doc. And I most of the comments are good. And that's because this is a very good tool. Now, is it 100% necessary for every single fret job? No. Thus making it, okay, hold on a minute. I'm not trying to suggest that this is a unitasker because it can do, you can press in frets on any fretboard with this tool or this tool, which is the same thing with just a slightly different mounting mechanism. But the fact is that if you are using any other tool for a conical radius fretboard, at the very best, it's going to take you longer. And we're going to talk about why that is. Hi, Joy. Hi, Steve. So I started to get some comments that were things like, seems like an answer to a problem that doesn't exist. And oh my God, I just looked at the price, LOL, stuff like that. And I got to thinking about it and I'm like, I can see where the hobby guitar builder probably cannot justify a $300 fret press that excels in the arena of pressing in frets on conical radiused fretboards and does straight radiuses like a 12-inch radius all the way down. This does in that instance, this tool is still very effective, but you could argue that it's not any better than the radius call that you may already have. So if you're a hobby guitar builder, it is very likely that you cannot justify the price of this tool. As a professional guitar builder, I can't justify not having it. And let's talk a little bit about why that is. And I also want to bring up my old buddy, the StewMac nut slot depth gauge. As a professional guitar, I tell you what, guys, for as much shade as I've gotten for the fractal fret press from the Shade Tree Guitar Builder, man, I get 100 times more shade thrown at me for this tool, because I said that if you are doing fret jobs or if you are doing setup work or you're cutting nuts professionally and you don't use this tool, you're a hack. And I stand by that. I get a bunch of shade for that. But as a professional guitar builder, I can't afford to not have this. And we're going to talk about why that is. But these two tools here, they're not giving them away. And I realize that when I say that, I'm holding 3 tools that were actually gifts to me. Jeremy sent me these 2 post-production samples of the of his fractal fret press that are going to be distributed through Stuart McDonald. And I think that Sir David Dangerous probably bought this one and some others like it. And, you know, but the reason that I do this stuff, however, I have purchased 4 of these and I have 3 of these fractal fret presses that I bought. You know, so you can throw shade at me if you want, but the fact of the matter is that I have all these tools because I can't afford to not have them. So I was talking with Chris about them a little bit, and the idea that if you're doing if you're pressing in frets on a conical radius, or what Warmoth calls the compound radius fretboard, and both terms are accurate, you don't have to have this tool, but if you don't, you are at the very best having to switch out fret press calls several times through the fretting process. And at worst, you're pressing in a fret with a call that is not sized to the fretboard at that fret location, or you're hammering frets in. Now, I do not believe that you should hammer frets in. Want to know why I think that? Because I've hammered in so many frets. It's taken me a long time to get good at it. And I this tool just makes life a lot easier. And if you came to me and said, will you refret my 1985 Jackson, I don't know, Randy Rhoads, V, and I said to you, sure, but I don't have this fractal fret press. Are you cool with paying for the extra time that it's going to take me to do that? And I'm sure that you would say no. So if time is worth anything, and it is, unless this is your hobby, then time is very elastic. But if you do this for a living, time has a value that you can actually put a dollar amount to. So having these fractal fret presses saves you a lot of time, and it will eventually save you a lot of money pretty fast if you do a lot of refrets. Now let's talk about the one that everybody loves to hate, the StewMac nut slot depth gauge, which we use all over the neck, not just for the first fret. There are people that are so resistant to buy the thing that makes their life easier that they mock stuff on YouTube because, and they really show their ignorance. You know what I mean? I heard something the other day that a wise man can learn a lot more about a foolish question than a fool can from a wise answer. This is a wise answer. And if you're a fool, you don't accept that this is a solution to a real problem. I'm gonna go out on a limb here. Anyone who says that they can set up 2 guitars identically without using this tool, come to my shop. I will pay you $1,000 if you can do it to 2 guitars. There you go. You know how many people are going to take me up on that? None. Because they're touching. There's probably a lot of guys who are hobby guitar builders who are very, very skilled at touching small things. And maybe they're good at it. Yeah, you like that, Chris? So anyway, but you cannot, with any degree of accuracy, do what this tool can do with your finger. Okay, so let's go to the comment section and see what you guys have to say. And I'm just going to take a couple of them here, and let's see. Hang on. Let's see. Doc says, well, good tools, reliable tools tend to be expensive tools, but if you see them as an investment, it's not so bad. You know, Doc, I'm glad that you're here for a number of reasons, but Chris and I were actually talking about you this morning. Can you imagine if you went to your dentist's office and he still had stuff from 1950? Like everything was, like was not a precision tool, or he said, I can just tell by feeling your tooth if you need a root canal. And maybe Doc can, but the fact of the matter is that there are tools in place that are there for a reason. Hey, Highline Guitars is here. Chris says that he tried one of the knockoffs. It was a no-go. Let's see. JC75 says, obviously, if you make as many guitars as you guys do, it's worth the money and time saved. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna reiterate this. As a professional guitar maker, I can't afford to not have this stuff. I'm not suggesting that every single person who builds one guitar needs all of it, but as a pro, and I'm not saying that like I'm better than everybody, but this is how I earn my living. This is how I pay my mortgage. I have to have this stuff. And if a hobby guitar maker doesn't understand that, I understand it, but I don't throw shade at them. Maybe I do, but I'm trying not to. Doc again says, as a hobby guitar builder, I think making my process more consistent and easier is worth the investment in quality tools. Well, Doc, I wouldn't consider you to be a hobby guitar builder. I would consider you to be a guitar builder who gets paid to make guitars. Therefore, you are a professional guitar maker. Fred says, I'm a hobbyist and I bought the fractal fret press from Jeremy directly. I think when I saw it on your channel. Also have the depth gauge and love the repeatability. Well, Fred, I'm glad that you said what you said, because if your hobby is becoming something that you want to get really good at, you're going to buy the good tools, just like Fred did. And I'm glad that you said that you bought it after you watched a video on my channel, because someone's going to go, oh yeah, Jeremy just gave that stuff to Matt. Yeah, he did. But we have a symbiotic relationship where I love the tools that he makes that I bought. And he sent me a couple to review and, make a video with, so, people can see this stuff. I got a bunch of people that were like, yeah, I saw this one here with the big bar on it, and I couldn't figure out why you would want that over the original style, even the beefed up one. But I tell you what, gang, I was confused too until I tried it. And especially after I tried it and compared it to the original one. You know what I mean? So a lot of guys will go, that's dumb. I'm not going to use it. I'm just going to get the original one. Well, until you can try both, you might not know. And I have tried both, and I really like this little guy here. You might try both and go, no, I like the OG unit. That's great. Lefty says, doesn't matter what you're working on, guitars, cars, guns, etc. Good quality tools are usually worth having. They make life easier. Absolutely, Lefty. Chris and I were talking about this morning too. I'm like, I'm not a motorcycle mechanic, so my ratchet set can suck. But if I took my bike to somebody and they had the same tools as I did and way more skill than I have, I would still kind of look side eyes at them. Brad Guitar Miller says, Lefty, you can't afford to not have good tools. Chris from Highline says, if you're a hobbyist, buy the expensive tool, use it once and sell it. Chris, there's somebody that asked if they could rent one of my fractal presses. And I got to thinking about it. I'm like, well, yeah, why not? I'm not going to mail it to you, but as you know, Chris, and as a lot of you guys know too, I open my door to the shop all the time, several times a month, to people that come in and use my tools. That's another reason I can't afford to not have this stuff. So anyway, gang, just a quick video here, and I appreciate you tuning in. Thanks for hanging out with me. If you're a hobby guitar maker and you have good tools, please leave a comment in the section below. If you're a hobby guitar maker and you think I'm full of crap, please you can leave a comment there too. But I tell you what, as a person who earns a living, JC75, my comment wasn't meant as a direct. Oh no, I didn't think it was, my friend. I knew what you meant, and I absolutely didn't take it in any kind of offense. But yeah, I can't, as someone who earns a living doing this, I can't afford to not have this stuff. And I can see that if you earn your living, I don't know, selling insurance, you might not need, gosh, I don't know. There's probably close to $800 worth of tools right here. You probably don't need that, if you know what I mean. But yeah, okay. So Fred says, do other hobbyists only make one guitar? I couldn't agree more. Once people start doing this, I'm gonna stop reading, so I'm taking my glasses off. Once people start doing this, it is rare that they only make one guitar. So and what you'll probably do is you'll make a couple and you won't have this tool or you won't have that tool. And then as you keep going, you'll start to acquire all these different tools, and you'll get a bunch of them. I wasn't born with all these tools, and I don't have the same tools that I have tool envy too. But yeah, I wasn't born with all this stuff. It took a long time to accumulate all the gear that we have here. So anyway, hey, guys, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. It was great to hear from some of you guys. I think coming on Monday is in the early morning for me is kind of a different time, and maybe you guys can tune in then, and you might not be able to tune in all the other times. So I like doing these Guitar Builder Reacts videos, and I hope that you guys like them too. If you want to support the channel, check us out on Patreon. You can join us on YouTube, or you can just go to StuMac and buy some tools, whether it's an $18 fret end file that you ought to have probably 5 or 6 of, or one of these fractal fret presses, or if you don't, okay, if you don't have this guy, if you don't have the nut slot depth gauge, this one's beat. This thing has been just tore up from the floor up. I should probably send it back to StuMac and go, I need the little set screw, because this is busted. It still works great, but I should probably send it back and have them send me a new one. Anyway, if you guys have, if you want to support the channel and you want to buy some tools from StuMac, if you use my link, I get a little taste. I don't get a lot, but I get a little taste, and that's a great way to help support the channel. So thanks for watching, you guys. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time. I got to find the dumb button here now.